And you haven't told us about yourself. When did you become Ahmadi?
It was 11 years ago.
11 years ago, 86.
In 1985. 86.
86 is 11 years. 12.
11 years.
11
It was
11 some months.
Yes.
And when did you come to London after that?
First in 1987, I think. 2 years later.
2 years later.
Yes.
Right. Because I remember having met you at that time, and you. This much I remember, that you were fresh in Ahmadiyyat.
Yes.
But I was impressed by your enthusiasm. And you were so dedicated and so excited about Ahmadiyyat and so on. And I have raised this question because ever since her joining Ahmadiyyat, things in Istanbul and Turkey have started changing. Because thanks to her dedication and spirit and resolution to spread Ahmadiyyat, mashallah. See, so she is the leader of the new phase of the spread of Ahmadiyyat in Turkey. Alhamdulillah. Now, the question.
Shall I translate this?
Huh?
Shall I translate this bit?
Okay, yes. Inshallah.
He said, this is my question before I go back to France, because he will be going on Sunday, inshallah. He said, I would like to know the relationship between Iblees, Satan, and Adam, alayhi salam. And also I would like to know, does the word Jinn applies on human or on other beings?
Not me, a lot of people.
Yes, he said this is proper. Yeah, he said this is.
Don't apply the word Jinn to me.
He said this question is always being raised by people in France.
Just listening to Arabic. The question is threefold. The first part, and then it's followed by another one about the Jinn. In fact, we can turn that into one question, because the Holy Quran says about Shaitan or Iblees, kana minal Jinn. So there the boundaries of all these meet. Now, if you read carefully the account of the Quran, one thing becomes very obvious, to me at least, that Satan is the spirit of evil, who is mentioned as having been made out of fire. Now, according to the Arabic idiom, if something is made of something, it does not necessarily mean that he was literally molded out of that. It may be interpreted as a reflection on the character of that something. For instance, the Holy Quran says about man, خُلِقَ مِنْ أَجَلٍ. Man was created from ajal. Ajal means haste, to be in hurry, something. How can you mold hurry or haste into Adam or man? So that is a proof that when it is said that somebody is made out of that, it means he has that in him as a prominent mark of his character. So if Satan is made out of fire, it certainly means that he had that fiery, rebellious nature. If he were literally made of fire, then every time he approaches anybody, he should be burnt. Has anybody felt any heat while he is thinking of bad things? Has anybody been literally burnt because of Satan? So I don't know why the mullahs do not contemplate on these things, when Arabic offers a very sensible solution. Why should we accept that? So, in the sense where the religion is concerned, the Satan which we hear about is certainly not literal fire. He is of fiery nature and induces people with fiery thoughts, rebellion, destruction of things, burning and putting things to fire and destroying life as such. This is fire. But in another sense, the word jinn is mentioned in the Holy Quran to be literally created from fire, because there he is mentioned as bacteria, and that type of bacteria which are still called pyrococcus bacteria, bacteria made out of fire. And when the Holy Quran says before man we had created jinn from fire, there it can be taken literally, and it has to be taken literally, because there was no man to mislead. You see, that fiery nature didn't mean anything. So according to the context, you must translate the words, as I should say, you must translate the words of the Holy Quran according to the context where they are used. Then they will read sense clearly. So the word jinn has been used in other senses, but here in application to Satan, we can positively say that both jinn, who is declared as having been born out of fire, and Satan himself, خَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ نَارٍ خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ طِينٍ, you know, that sort of statement. Here the word nar must be translated as a man with a fiery rebellious nature, or a thing with a fiery rebellious nature. Correct? So here the Satan and the jinn meet. And who is Iblees? Iblees, as we read the story from the Holy Quran, the story means actually what happened is somebody who can speak to people, somebody who can convey messages, somebody who can insinuate by talking glibly of things which are just deceit. So from that I judge, I infer that whenever Satan, that evil spirit, occupies a human and turns him exactly like him, a man of rebellion, a man of deceit, a man of destructive powers, then such a person is entitled Iblees. So that Iblees we read about in the Holy Quran must have been a personification of Satan. And we know, according to from the Quran, that Satan gave birth to a generation of Satans like him, or Iblees did. Find out. That means they were also productive. So whether you talk of a spirit elsewhere, outside spirit, which is referred to as Satan, or whether you speak of the character of rebellion alone, which can only be witnessed when it works in man. So in that sense, Iblees, Satan and humans cannot be separated differently one from the other. When humans become the manifestation of Satan, because in that sense it is nafs-e ammara which is referred to as Satan, and nafs-e ammara is something which one does not know, one does not see how it works, but one listens to nafs-e ammara and it continues to mislead humanity. And in that sense, Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam declared that everybody's Satan is running in his blood, and his Satan became Muslim. Now when the ulama try to interpret it differently, this hadith would not permit them to do so. The Quran would not permit them to do so. Because according to the Holy Quran, Satan was to remain misled and astray till the day of judgment, till the day of resurrection, or doomsday, we should say. Ila Yawm al-Qiyamah. How could that Satan become a Muslim against the verdict of the Holy Quran? So that Satan which ran in the blood must be interpreted as nafs-e ammara, the human ego which continues to mislead humans themselves by insinuating them to do this bad thing and that bad thing, and to calling them to easier ways of luxury and so on and so forth. And in that respect, if somebody has full command over one's ego, like an excellent mastery rider, his mount cannot run away without his permission, cannot make any move without his permission. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam completely mastered his ego, so that it was almost annihilated. Not almost, it was annihilated. There was nothing of evil intentions left in him at any level of consciousness or subconsciousness. So this is Satan as we understand, with reference to the Quran, Hadith, etc. So Iblees, the first Iblees, must have been the unfortunate human who was occupied by Satan so much. He must have been listening to the nafs-e ammara so often until there is no difference left between him and nafs-e ammara, until his nafs-e lawwama died. The conscience which pricks when you listen overmuch to the inner voices of evil, then the voice which repels those voices gradually is strangled and dies down. So some people become personifications of the Satan and some personification of angels. And this happens in every age. If my understanding is right, then this Iblees, and there were more than one Iblees at the time of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, must have been Abu Jahl, Shaiba, Utbah, and so on and so forth. There are so many of them. And they did not become Muslims. So a sure sign that they were Iblees. Because Satan is told by God that you will never become rightly guided until the day of judgment. See? So this is how I join these different terms together and mend them together into an understandable entity. Thank you.
Iblees looking at this.
Yeah, Iblees. That's what I wanted to find out. It is Iblees who would give birth to others like him. So it has to be a human who will carry, who will have children, and people like him are born. And also spiritually, he gives birth to evil people like himself. Please. Oh, have you written that much? No.
أجاب حاتم